Hi everyone, it's Tanya with Riley and Company. Now you know Riley and Company for our snarky sayings and our cute little moose, but did you know that we have a dress up line? It's called Dress Up Riley. Oh my, look what's coming. Dress Up Riley. It's like paper dolls, except for way cuter animals. There's over 52 accessory sets and 6 basic sets and well hello. And you can make really cute stuff like this. Come see us at RileyandCompanyOnline.com.
Hey guys, it's MayMay, and I'm so excited to bring you this super simple but very useful project for the holidays. Let's get started. Now, I'm only going to be featuring 3 products, okay? One is going to be some white 12 by 12 cardstock. Another is going to be a paper pack. And then another is going to be some magnetic disc to close up this little memory album we're going to make. Now we're going to start with one piece of the white 12 by 12. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do a step and then remind you to pause the video to catch up, and I'll do a step and then you can pause the video, and that'll keep us on time together, and you'll finish this little guy by the time the video is over. All right, so with your first piece of 12 by 12, I want you to grab your trimmer. Now we're going to be cutting this guy down to 4 by 12 3 times. So we're going to put it in our trimmer and we're going to cut at 4 inches. Hold that one aside. We'll cut again at 4 inches. And I want you to make sure this last one is 4 inches. A lot of times manufacturers are very generous with their paper and you might have a little hang over your cut blade, but mine is good. So we're going to leave it like that. All right, pause the video here and get your 3 pieces cut 4 by 12 and then start the video again for the next step. For your next step, I want you to get out your scoreboard and your bone folder and let's do some scoring. For one piece of the 12 by 12, I need you to put it in your scoreboard on the 12-inch side, and I want you to score at 4 inches, at 5 inches, at 9 inches, and at 10. Now this is going to be kind of the holder for our memory album. This is going to be the cover and the closure and everything all in one, so we can set that aside. Then I want you to take your other 2 pieces and do these same score marks, okay? You're going to do 4, and then you're going to do 8. And I need you to do that on both of your other pieces, okay? 4 and 8. So go ahead and pause the video and get caught up to this point, and we'll get right back together. The next step is super easy. Let's just fold and crease all our lines on all of our pieces. These little guys, we're just going to fold them and crease them accordion style, okay? So I'm going to fold one side over like that, and then I'll flip it over and fold the other side, and we'll end up with a little accordion folded piece. All right, so you should have these lines scored and folded, and then these guys folded in a little accordion. Let's set these aside for just a second, and I want you to bring this one over. Now, this album is going to open like this. So what I want you to do is have this smaller flap at the top so that we can see the other area here. Now, these pieces we just made are going to open like this. We're going to put one in here, and it's going to open out like this, and we're going to put one at the bottom, and you guessed it, it's going to open the opposite way. Now, it doesn't have to. You can do it any way you want, but this is how I'm going to do it. Now, we're going to glue this entire section inside of this area of our little base. Remember, we have this 1 inch area that's a spine here and a 1 inch area that's a spine here. I want you to glue this in between those 2 pieces. And then on the bottom, we're going to glue it underneath the spine. Okay. Now, I'm going to glue the entire piece. If you don't want to do that, if you'd like to give yourself another photo spot, you can create a little binder, a little hinge binder here, and glue it down and be able to have this whole section. But I want to create some stability, okay? So I'm going to double this cardstock here so this guy will hold up for a very long time. So I'm going to apply glue like so. And let's start at the bottom, okay? So this one, I want it to open out to the left. So I'm going to glue it down this way. And remember, we're going to glue below our score mark into the edge of the little book. And let's just double check that we're clear in our score mark. You see that? I want to make sure that everything will still fold And it does, so we're good. So we got that guy down. And so he'll live like that. Isn't that cool? Super easy. Now for this guy, you might get a little resistance and we might have to deal with it. Let me show you what I mean. Because this one is going between two score marks, you're going to want to make sure that when you glue it down, your top will still close freely and this center will close freely. And this one's doing okay. It's giving me a little bit of resistance here. So let me show you how I'm going to get around that. I'm going to put this into my trimmer and I'm going to trim off a sliver, not very much. Now, if you're nervous about trimming slivers, let me show you what you do. Put your cardstock in, lay it where you want to trim, and sink your blade in the middle of the page. Don't try to pull down and don't try to push up on the edge. When you're cutting such a tiny sliver, it can kind of buckle on you. So sink your blade in the middle and then go up and then come down, and you'll have a much better result cutting those little tiny slivers like this. Okay, so now let's go back to our book. Now this one, remember I want this one to open the opposite way, so I'm going to glue it in like this. But let's double check and make sure we got our closures working well. That's really good, and that's really good. So I'm going to glue that one in. And when I glue it, I want to check again just to make sure, because I don't want to wait until it's all dried and I can't move it. So I've got that one folded nicely too. So where are we at? We have one glued to the bottom and one glued to the top. How easy is this little book, right? So what I want you to do is get everything glued into this point and we'll get right back together. So pause the video and come back when you're ready to this point. All right, it's time to install a magnet. And where I want to put my magnet is I want it to live right underneath this little flap that will be my closure on the front of the album, okay? So what I'll do is I'll place it here first. These magnets I'm using have a plus and a minus side, and they are pre-adhesived for me. So I'm going to peel back this little piece, okay, of to expose the adhesive. And what my favorite rule of thumb is, technically an actual rule of thumb, you want to give yourself a little gap between the edge and where you put your magnet, about a finger width. And the reason for that is when we go to cover this up with decorator paper, we want to be able to seal that down nice and tight. And if you get your magnet too close to the edge, two things can happen. One, it can either show, or two, you won't be able to glue your paper all the way down, okay? So give yourself about a finger or even a thumb width and place it down. Now this changes sometimes depending on how wide your flap is. If you have a thinner flap, sometimes you have to get a little close, but right here we've got a nice area to work with, okay? Now to put this magnet to the other side, peel that little backer off. And we're going to close this, and because there's adhesive on my magnet, it'll just stick to the front page. But here's something you want to do before you do this, okay? Go ahead and stand your album up and square everything up. See how I'm squaring those edges? Do that before you close your magnet down to catch. And the reason for that, if you just kind of willy-nilly close your magnet in, that's the way your album's going to close, okay? We want it to be nice and square. So you want to make sure you place your magnet so that the sides are square. Now look at this. I say sides. It's really the tops and the bottom. Look how cute this is going to be. Oh my goodness, let's decorate. From your paper pack, you're going to need 12 pieces that measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to go into my paper pack, and the first thing I want to do every time I make an album of any kind is find the page I want to be my cover. So I'm going to flip through and find that, and you do the same. If you know me at all and you looked in that paper pack, you probably thought I went with buffalo check, but I really love this plaid. Now I'm going to have to lose a couple of the cut aparts. That's not a big deal for me. And what I think I'm going to do is cut from down here, because these cut aparts are too big for the album I'm making today, but these will fit in there. So I'm going to use this end. So let's cut 2 pieces. This will be my cover and my back, that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now, because I've already cut these guys, this cut apart here, I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the pieces for my outside spine from this as well. And those pieces need to be 3/4 by 3 3/4. So since this is already the right height, I'm just going to cut 2 pieces that are 3/4. So there's that one. I'll do that again. And I tell you what, now that I think about it, because I've already cut this guy and I don't really want to waste him, I'm going to do 2 more of these for the inside as well. All right, so what I need you to do is get your cover and your back done. Those are 3 by 3/4 square. Then you need 4 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 3/4 so we can cover our spines. Pause the video, get those cut, and then we'll get right back together. Let's go ahead and glue these in place. The reason I like to do that is I don't want to accidentally use them somewhere else. So we only need 12 pieces of the 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So now that I've got these two, I'll only need to cut 10 more for the inside. And I won't be quite as picky about those because I know now that my cover is what I want it to be. So I don't have to stress that I might accidentally use it. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue down the front, the back, and cover both my spines. And if you want to pause the video and catch up, that's where I'll end up, and we'll start from there when you get that done. Okay, so you're caught up to this point. So you have your cover pretty much covered, not our flap yet, but that is done. And then we have our 2 spines inside covered. Go ahead, cut for yourself the 10 other pieces to cover this area and glue them into place. And we'll get back together to start the next spot. So if you're back with me now, you should have these guys covered in the decorator paper like so, top and bottom. Isn't that cool? Love how that looks. Let's cover our flap. Now this guy needs a piece that is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So you just want to pick one you like here and one you like here, cut those out and glue them on. Remember how I told you wanted to have that space around your magnet to glue that piece down? This is where I was talking about. See how I'm able to get plenty of glue on the other side of my magnet and get that good and sealed down? If my magnet was close to the edge, I wouldn't be able to do that. So make sure you give yourself that finger width. All right, I got one more piece to put on. How are you doing? Are you caught up with me? How fun is this guy? It's so easy. I can see you making a lot of these for gifts this year. I know. I think I will be making these. These turned out really, really fast, quick, and easy. When I was designing, and I was like, wow, quick gift, right? Okay, so there's that. Now what we want to do is I want to go inside the box, and photos will live here. So I want to make photo match for this area. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut pieces that are 3 by 3. And I know that's an unusual photo size, but nowadays you can do your photos in different sizes. You can print them yourself or even have them printed smaller. So I'm going to do 3 by 3 for my photo mats, and I need 10 of them because that's how many spots I've got. So I'm going to go to that white cardstock that we have, our 12 by 12 again, and I'm going to cut for myself 10 pieces that are 3 by 3. And you go ahead and do that too, and we'll get right back together. Now this next step is optional, and if you don't have this, don't worry about it, but I'm going to do a little stamping on my photo mats. I'm going to put these into my MISTI so I can do kind of a mass production stamping. And from my stamp set called Action, I'm going to use this that says Place Photo here. That way, if I give this as a gift, the recipient will know exactly what to do with each little spot. So I'm just going to line it up in the center. I think it'll be cute right there. And then I'll pick this up. I'm going to go to town, stamping 10 of them. So if you don't want to do this part, or if it's not part of your plan for today, you can just skip to the next section and we'll keep going. So for the next part of our process, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through and I'm going to glue these down just like this. Now I want to say to you, get creative. If you don't want to do your photos just like this, and also if you're not giving this as a gift, you really could just glue the photos straight down. I just think this is really sweet when you're giving this as a gift to let someone know exactly where to put the photos. It really makes it easier for someone who's maybe not a crafter or maybe never seen something like this before. It really takes the mystery out. So I'm going to run through to all 10 of our spots and glue down our little place photo here mats, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now we have all of our photo mats in place, and now it's time for the fun part. Now we can decorate. Here's what I love about a paper pack: the stickers. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I love a good paper pack with a lot of stickers. And for this size book, look how perfect these tiny little stickers are. Let me show you how I use them. So for stickers, I'm going to go to the inside of the album. And what I like to do is I like to place stickers in the bottom corners, top corners, around where the photos go. The trick is you don't want them to stick to where the photos should lie. So let me show you what we do about that. So let's say I want this little ornament to maybe live at the top. That'd be super cute. But I want to be able to tuck my photo underneath it. Here's what we do. We flip this guy upside down with his sticky side facing up. And if you have an embossing powder tool, you can powder this guy with this powder just by tapping it on. Now, it's kind of funny. I always say it kind of leaves like a sticker crime scene. See how it leaves that behind? But you do this, you take the sticky off, and then you glue it where you want it. Now, you don't have to have one of those embossing tools. You can have cornstarch, baby powder, cosmetic powder. Anything works to take the powder off the back, right? So that's what I do to get that not sticky. Then when I put it in the album, I only put glue where I will need it. And so this for me will be at the top and along the side. And see how little I use there? You don't need a lot. So when we place it down onto the album, we have all that open where there is to place a photo. So the photo will slide right in. Isn't that cool? So now you would go through the album to all of the pages using your stickers and do them like that and just place them down. So let's do that. I want you to just run through, place stickers wherever you want them. That'll be super cute. If you don't have stickers, maybe the paper pack you're using has some ephemera. That would work just the same. And once you get the stickers placed here, let's get back together and do the cover. So let's look at my stickers. So I added stickers to the top. I just love stickers, you guys. It makes life so easy. Look how cute this is. And then everyone got a sticker. Now, if you're giving this as a gift, another good idea is to not use stickers and send them with the gift and let them put them where they want them. All right, let's talk about the cover. Now, I want it to be simple. I feel like this guy is clean and simple, and that's how I want to keep him. Let me show you my plan. So from one of the cut apart pages, I love this circle that says meet me under the mistletoe. So I'm cutting that out. And I also want to show you this. I love whenever these guys can be used. You know how the edges of the paper have the little designer strips here? I'm going to use this guy to my advantage. So I'm going to trim him out of here. And using my scissors, I'm going to go around and bubble cut this image. What that means is I'm just leaving a little gap so that green shows. What this will do for me is it'll make it look like I matted this piece, but I didn't have to because the green is already there. And I'm just going to place this on to the front of our little album. Now this little strip, I think I'm going to use it across here to kind of break up a little bit of the red. So I need to cut it down a little bit. And that's 3 3/4. I know that, so I can put that in the trimmer and do that. Now a little glue. Place this guy across. And I think I want this to be something like that. I just think that's cute, and I'm going to let it hang over. Of course, let's put it the right way, right? If you know me, orientation is my nemesis. I would have glued that down wrong if I hadn't looked. Look how simple and cute that is. I just think it's precious. And I love that the back is decorated for us, so we don't even have to worry about that. But if you want to cover the back, you can. Like if you want to put something to kind of sandwich it on your little piece here, you can certainly do that. But look how cute. Now, here's the thing. The reason we want to keep these kinds of things simple is because we don't have a lot of time throughout this time of year to make gifts for everybody. But when we can, it's super fun, right? And when you can do one like this that takes no time and hardly any supplies, what a great way to make a bunch of gifts. Now, here's the thing. I hope you enjoyed this class today, but I really want to see your little albums. I want to see what you do, and you guys always do so much better than I do anyway. So please head to my Facebook group, which is called MayMay Made It, and so did I. And also consider sharing on our customer gallery at our website called MayMayMadeIt.com. If you've never heard of me before, I sure would love you to come over to my YouTube channel, also MayMay Made It. Give us a subscribe. Check out my videos. There's so many. I have almost 3,000 videos for you guys that you can check out, and I'd love to have you over there. Thanks so much for watching this video today. Can't wait to see what you guys made. And until next time, bye now.